guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the match preview to the North London derby, right? The all-important North London derby that's been built up for a long while now. It's here, and we're going to be looking in to see if probably a decider for the top four. By the way, it looks in the sort of the table. I've got Ian, a very well-known Spurs fan, and also Chris from Let's Talk Tottenham. How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me on. Pleasure to be on. Been on a few times. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm confident, but also nervous at the same time. Let me put it that way. But yeah, I'll start with you, Chris. And before I do, I will actually just go for the comments. Big up Alexander Hilton, big up Eugene. I know you'll be joining us as soon as you finished. Big up Games FC, big up Mike, obviously trying to wind us up as always. Big up the panel as well. And Sait's in the building, my regular co-host. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, Steven. How you doing?
Not too bad. But I'll start with you, Chris. I mean, how do you feel initially going into this game the way Tottenham are right now?
I'm really looking forward to it because we're at home. If it was away from home, slightly different. I think as good as a point it was at Anfield, we should have won. But we've gone to a place where we're expected to be turned over and should have won. So I think that will give confidence. And your final two games that you've got there on the screen: Newcastle away, Everton at home. Newcastle's last home game of the season. They're going to want to win that. Everton, I still think that relegation battle will be until the last day of the season. So they're not givens. I think if we can't get ourselves up for this game, there's no hope with everything that's riding on it. Local rivals, and yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll see kind of a swashbuckling game from us from the start, although that never ever happens. So I'm kind of optimistic at the moment, but I imagine 10 minutes before kickoff, I'll start getting nervous. But I just think if we can start off quick, I'm with those front three, I'm not sure you'll be able to cope with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we go back to the Emirates game. You're very disappointed because you didn't.
Well, that shows how far we've come this season under Conte as well, that we're upset with only a point at Anfield, who are either the best or second best team in the league by quite a distance, and we're upset by only getting a draw there. Whereas,
but then you've had that
seasons, we'll be lucky if we don't concede a rugby score. But
then again, I think compared to Arsenal, and I'll go to Sait on this. I mean, compared to Arsenal, I think out of the two teams that have out of this season, all teams have been inconsistent this season. Anyone below Man City and Liverpool, they've been inconsistent. Even Chelsea have. And they could easily be dragged into the party as well. Still, with only 2 games left. But so out of the two teams, say Arsenal, the reason Arsenal are still in the position they're in, even after losing to Brighton and that 3 games in a row we lost in those 3 games, Brighton, Southampton and Crystal Palace, we're still in the position we're in order to gain full spot, and I think that's due to mostly the fact that we've been the most consistent out of the top 4 teams going for 4th.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even if you look since Conte came into Spurs, if you just check the points tally since he joined, we've still been able to take more points than Spurs. I think they were 2 points behind us when he joined, and they are now 4 points behind us. So we've been a bit more consistent than Spurs, but it's not much. I think the biggest difference between Arsenal and Spurs, I feel like Spurs got more individual quality or more match winners. Like, we don't have a Harry Kane, we don't have a Son, but I think as a team, we are more solid, and you expect that because Conte is a new manager. He joined in the middle of the season. He only signed 2 of his players. So I think that's where we're going to see who's going to win. Will Arsenal turn up as a team? Then I think we'll win. Or will the match winners, your Kanes, your Sons, your Kulusevski, will they turn up? And I think that it's going to be an interesting game because the pressure is on Spurs to win because we got a 4-point gap and they are at home and they are chasing us. So I think that can favor us. But I've always said it when it comes to derbies in general, form goes out of the window, and it is whoever has the right mentality for the game who usually wins it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you go back to the Emirates game, we'd only just won 2 games, only 1-0, and we'd not really. And obviously, the first 3 games we had lost, and we were at the bottom of the table, rock bottom, with no confidence, no sort of team at all. And then obviously, it just when we came to the Tottenham game, right, people were predicting we would lose to that Tottenham side, and Tottenham never turned up. Really,
It's exactly what's said though. Whoever wants it more generally in a derby wins the game. You get the odd one here or there when that one team is so much superior than the other. But generally, and I think the crowd could play a huge part in this because regardless of what Tottenham turn up, that crowd is going to be electric at the start of that game. And if we can keep that going, it's going to be very, very difficult for us. That's
the thing. I think the early stages is we'll try and silence the crowd as quick as possible. But again, the sort of players this is where the lineup will come in handy when we'll come to it in a minute. Like the lineup I would like to see is you bring in the sort of young talent that have grown up through the academy. So you've got Saka, Smith Rowe, even Martinelli. You could count even that on as well, because they get Saka and Smith Rowe, for example. They're Hayland. They're they're Arsenal through and through. They know exactly what this game means. To the fans, let alone to the pride of the club. So, they want to go out and smell blood. So they want to go out and perform. Whereas if you've got someone like Pepe, for example, not that doubting Pepe's talent, it's just the fact that he might not get the idea of how big this game is in terms of what the fans think. Because obviously, as fans, right. Despite where we are, we always look to the calendar and look at when we're playing Tottenham. That's always the first fixture we pick out. Then it's wherever you want to go next. So
it's a strange thing for us, Stephen, that you say that, West Ham say that, and Chelsea say that. I mean, I don't know why, what it is, what we've done, in a previous life, that the 3 other, sort of the 3 other big clubs in London all see us as their main rivals. But I mean, I think Chris, first of all, I'm going to say I'm probably older than you two anyway, the 2 I can see put together. And I got a feeling that this is by some distance the biggest North London league derby in my lifetime, and by a long way. Yeah, there's been cup semi-finals and 3 FA Cup, maybe 2 League Cups, other way around that I can remember, but nothing to touch this in terms of its importance. You've won the league twice at our place, but that's when you had something to play for. We didn't. Here, both sides have something to play for. I mean, I agree with Chris. I think the crowd is going to play a massive, massive part in the.
Nope. I think we lost him there.
Yeah, we lost his voice.
He's frozen.
Is that me that keeps freezing? I actually moved room when I froze the last time. Hopefully that won't happen too much. I think we've got the bigger players. I think we've got the better players. I think we've got the better back 3. I think we've got the better front 3. Your midfield is strong, and I don't think we're as strong. You get amongst our
midfield strong. Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, it's been strong. If you look at performance, if you take a name out of the picture, our midfield has been carrying us this season. I think Odegaard's been amazing. I think Granit Xhaka has had a very good season, even though it's controversial to say that. And I think Elneny has come in and been a big player for us.
Do you worry about Xhaka? Because for me, I'd be able to get him sent off in a big game like this, I think. And then Arsenal players and fans are probably looking at Romero in the same vein. But Xhaka, I think, stand on his toes at corners, flick his ears at corners and stuff, get him wound up, go 50-50 into him. He could possibly get sent off. So do you worry about him in not just normal games, but certainly this one, which is a massive, massive game?
I've worried about Chris. I've always worried about Xhaka in every bloody game. Let's get it right.
If you ask me personally,
is that a yes or no, Stephen? Are you sitting on the fence?
Yeah, go Stephen first. I'll go.
Go on. Yeah, I'm always worried about Xhaka in every single game I've seen him play. So you say it. Go on. You were saying.
If you ask me,
oh, it's gone quiet. It's gone quiet.
Yeah, has been here for 5 or 6 years now, and he's never been sent off in a North London derby. And I think in a derby game
that could easily change.
Yeah, but I'm just going out of receipt. I'm just going out of that. In derbies, you want players who got temperament because it has a big impact. It's an emotional game more than a tactical game. And Granit usually is very good in the derbies because he's a temperamental player. And
if he gets sent off, I'm holding you to account.
Yeah, no worries. And I think in derbies in general, referees allows more than they usually don't. I think that's benefit him. And I think even if you look at the last derby, he was one of the key players in the midfield. So I don't worry. I think now he's trying to create a new bond with the fans. I think he's had a solid season. And I think he looks forward to the game. I think he wants to prove a point. I really do think he wants to. And I think the fact that he's not playing in a defensive role where you can get at him because he's not the most mobile player, I think it benefits him that he plays higher up. And I think that's why he's been better. That doesn't mean that I think that he's world class and I want him to stay forever. I just think that he's raised his own level.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he has been decent this season, but I can never rule it out with this guy. This guy, I can never rule it out with him, just for those reasons. So, just because this is the great thing about Xhaka. He has those records where he hasn't done this, he hasn't done this, and he decides, I'm going to do it now, right? Because, if you'd ask me, I'd rather on any, to be honest, but like that's just me because he's actually played well since he's come in for Partey actually. And that's the big problem I find is our midfield. Oh my god, I could see it. If he plays Xhaka on any, you would have control of the midfield. I do believe so because it's slow. You have a chance to get our midfield because Elneny and Xhaka are too slow to bring the ball forward in transition. So getting it so you'd be able to isolate Odegaard, Smith Rowe, our attacking players a lot easier because you'll be able to cut the passing lanes and also cut off what the midfield is trying to do because it's too slow in doing it. So yeah, that's my biggest worry with Arsenal is that and that's where since Partey's been injured, you've seen the drop off. Like you've seen the drop off in performance. We've not been playing too well, and shows actually how vital that box to box has been for Arsenal. So,
but Steven, don't you feel like since Elneny's joined that midfield, it's been much better? I mean, we haven't lost a game since he joined the midfield.
Well, yeah, I grant that, and I've said he's not. I haven't said he hasn't played well, right? But when it comes to a big game and you're playing a big opposition, right, they'll be able to target those weaknesses even more, and it's where we could get easily exposed. Neither of us are winning a Champions League without our owners leaving. That's a good point. Well, let's just put a dampener on the whole achievements, isn't it? Big up, Static. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Arsenal should have signed Basuma last summer. 7 likes, hit the like button and subscribe. And big, no, should have went the allegations. But then it like
I have a question to the Tottenham guys.
Mm-hmm.
Bar the Liverpool game, I think your wing back's been a bit shaky. You know, Emerson Royale's been criticized a lot. Sese Young's been all right going forward, but defensively, it's not the best. Do you guys worry that if we play Saka or Martinelli, that they can expose them? Is that a weakness of Tottenham?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair, isn't it, Chris? Although, I mean, Emerson was. I don't know if you saw the game on Saturday, our game on Saturday, but Emerson Royale was absolutely outstanding.
I think that though, Ian, is because this isn't a game where this part of the game you're attacking, this part of the game you're defending, then you're attacking.
Yep.
He was literally said, like the City game, your job is to defend here. You don't need to worry about the attacking stuff. Those three are going to do that. And when he's got simple instructions like that, he can follow that. But it's when he's got to take initiative and do all of these things. It obviously helps when Kulusevski, when he's attacking and everything, is backing up. But I think this game is going to be so attacking, I think, so that he's going to have to defend and to attack. And if Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli get on the ball, then they could cause problems.
Martinelli will... he's a right back, isn't he? He's a right back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Martinelli will run rings round him.
Yeah.
Honest to God, he will run.
But he will have Kulusevski help him back, and then Son probably on the other side with Sessegnon. But
I was going to say, I think that's what you might find. You might find with that you're very strong. You're very strong on that right hand side. I mean, Saka, great player, going to get better. But I wonder if we'll play a little bit lopsided in that sense, not quite with a 4, but we certainly won't be flat 5 like we were against Liverpool. That he might give Sessegnon more authority to get forward. To make sure we're countering your side. Conte is so astute tactically. You know, he does get it wrong sometimes, but he's so astute.
That's why I wanted to hijack the deal in the first place. Like, and like even when we were on a good run of form, I would have hijacked the deal straight away and took Conte straight away. Like, if given the opportunity, because wherever he's gone, he's managed to turn teams that aren't even that good in terms of title challenging and turn them into title winners. Like, he's done it with Inter Milan. He did it with Chelsea in his first season. And if they actually backed him, God knows what he could have done in the actual next season. He could have actually challenged Man City a lot more in that season when they went up from just like absolutely destroyed everyone. So, for me, the Conte for me would have been a good option for Arsenal. The only problem is maybe the tactical side, if he's not as attacking as some of the attacking players that we have, may not suit him. But I was fuming when we missed out on that deal. Because we could have quite easily hijacked that in my mind. But I mean, Son, I think obviously the two for Tottenham for me, I'm looking at obviously as usual is Kane and Son. How do you feel Conte is going to use them to be able to try and get at Arsenal and cause problems?
It's basically how's he going to use Kane, because basically the way that we play is we have no playmaker apart from the guy up front. Kane drops deep if there's space there. If there's space to drop deep, Son, Kulu will make runs. If Kane doesn't drop deep, very, very, or isn't allowed to get on the ball, it's very static. Son, Kulu don't make those runs. So I think that the game for us, because you don't need to win. If you get a draw, that's a good result for you, and then you're 4 points clear. You only need to win one of your 2 games. So my worry for the game is that you don't really attack us and you just play a counter-attacking game. I'm hoping you come and try and win the game, because that will open up space and that will allow Kane to come deep. And the goal that we scored at Liverpool, it was a hopeful ball from Emerson, but Kane's touch and the overcommittance of the Liverpool player, whoever it was, basically gave Kane all the space in the world, and then Kane does what he does and the goal comes from it. But if you sit back, like Brighton, Brentford, they sat back, packed that midfield out. Basuma for Brighton did a job on Kane. He didn't get a sniff, and then it's no surprise then that we looked very, very ineffective. But against teams who attack us, we look a lot better. You know, the Villa game, the Leeds game when Bielsa was there. Leeds under Bielsa don't know anything other than to attack. So if you attack us, I think we'll win. And Kane and Son, one of them will probably be man of the match. If you sit back and then play counter-attacking game, say 0-0's all right for us. If we don't lose, it's all right for us. I think we could be in for a long weekend, long day, unless something happens, moment of magic, or an early goal. It sounds cliche, and it's the same for every game. But this game, that first goal is huge, absolutely huge. You get it, you sit back. We're in for a real tough ride. We get it. You've got to attack us at some point. Kane's Son could pick you up.
I must say, I don't see Arsenal going gung ho either, and I think Chris is absolutely right. I don't think Arteta's, he gets a lot of stick from Arsenal supporters. I don't think he's anywhere near as bad a coach as some of you fear he is. I do expect you to sit back, to defend. We talked about Xhaka. I think he might put... What happened there? He might put Xhaka on Kane. I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't know if you noticed, every time Kane dropped deeper into the midfield, and I can't remember who the heck it was now, for Liverpool, was just following Fabinho, thank you. Yeah, it was just following him. And I think he might try and do something similar with Xhaka, or something like that. If Arsenal go at us, I think that would suit us. And I know you talk about
absolutely down to the ground. I think absolutely down to the ground. If Arsenal went at us, I think we'd end up getting about 4 potentially, or certainly 4 very clear chances.
I agree.
I'm just going to read.
Can I ask them a question, Stephen, after you read the comments?
Yeah, I will do. I just go to read some of these comments. I have been putting them up, but we'll go back and read some of them. So it's obviously big up Static as well. Emerson has been on a good run of form, but he still can eat a hot cross bun without choking. Okay, that's a weird word. That's a weird expression. But to be fair, I want to see a 4-4-2, so it allows us to have 4 attacking players instead of just 2 or 3, so we could have Son, Kane, Bergwijn, and
he's never going to change the formation now, Alexander.
No.
I think going back on that, you could change the formation to whatever you want, but the fact remains we only have Kane as a playmaker. It wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference, I don't think.
Tottenham are a dangerous team on the counter attack. Use Arsenal 1 more titles in the top. Well, that's not difficult. I can see us playing 5 against top. So,
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I'm sure Ian's can remember the last time. I'm sure Ian remembers it well. So
Yeah. I've just realised I've walked into the North Bank by mistake.
I bet you two had here the last time Tottenham won anything.
Oh, come on, okay, give us a rest, guys. Okay?
No, I'm joking. But a serious question.
Are you seriously going to wear that Champions League top next season? Anyway, afternoon. I'll just go quickly for the rest of the point. We'll go. Essentially, we win. Ian, give us Conte and take Arteta, please. Yeah, Xhaka and Kane are definitely not a disaster for Arsenal. Liverpool.
Computer says no.
Yeah, Steven. We have a lopsided 4-4-2 anyway. There you go. So yeah, go on. You wanted to ask?
Yeah, as an outsider looking into Arsenal, what do you make of Arteta? Because I get a lot of stick sometimes when I say that I think he's improved as a manager and he's actually doing a good job now. But what do you two look like at it?
Well, who wants to go? You want to go?
I'll go first. First season, when you won
Eugene,
the FA Cup. Hi, Eugene. First season when you won the FA Cup, he outthought and out-tacted. Well, I think I've got it in the right order. In the FA Cup semi-final against Pep, and then he did the same against. Was it against Lampard as well?
Basically, part of the Bustle game. Basically, part of the Bustle game. We relied on the back.
Yeah, he won those, and I thought tactically he had it absolutely 100% spot on. My issue with Arteta, we talked at the beginning and the preamble about this lack of consistency. And if you look at it, you've got the first two, and somebody, I think it was Alexander again, pointed out that City were fairly ordinary. At the beginning of the season, as they often are, they often start slowly. I mean, as Bill Shankly once said, don't worry about how we're playing in November. Look at how we're playing and where we are in May when the trophies are given out. But he does appear to be a little bit inconsistent. The one thing, and this will be interesting, I think, on Thursday night, is Arsenal will have to be up for it. The teams that have beaten you are often the teams that have I frozen again, or can you hear me?
No,
we can hear you.
Yeah, it's okay. Just I've got some internet issues here. Maybe it's Eugene. The teams that have beaten you are the teams that have been tough to battle. When you played at Brentford, I thought Brentford are going to win this, and Brentford did, because you didn't have the bottle for it. Same against Crystal Palace, another away game, another London derby, didn't have the bottle for it. If you're lacking in any respect, and I don't think you will be on Thursday, I think the game's too big. But if you're lacking anything, if you're only at 95% for that Hart, you'll get pulverized again. And that's where I think Arteta has failed. But I don't think he's as bad a coach. Some of the football you play, I think, is really, really nice. He spent a lot of money, fair dues, but no, from the outside looking in, I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as some of my Arsenal supporters seem to think. Better than Nuno Sanchez, anyway.
The thing is, like, we've had him for nearly 3 seasons now. You could look at David Moyes, who's coming at West Ham, spent half the money, and he's actually challenging Arsenal for a top 4 slot, and was finished ahead of him. Right, in the next season, finished ahead of him. He spent half the money that Arteta spent in that full season. He knocks us out of Europe for the first time in 25 years, right? Which I'm sorry, trying to be like Pep, because he tried to be like Pep Guardiola, right? Which I'm sorry, he ain't. He spent another 150 mil. Some of them have worked, right? But some of them are just not good enough. Do you know what? It really. Yes, he's improved in some areas, but for 250 mil, we've still conceded. He's supposed to have fixed the defence. We've conceded more goals this season. That's a fact than last season. He's only gained 3 more wins, possibly 2 or 3 less draws, and 2 or 3 less losses. So if that's the case, then for 250 mil, how much have we got to spend to then get us back to the top? Right? If we've now gone from 20, we've finished, for example, we're currently 20 points behind Man City, right? That's if we win our next 2 games, right? We finished last season 25 points behind. So we've got to spend 150 mil to gain another 5 points every season.
I think the issue is
it's not enough.
I think we've proven with Bentancur and Kulusevski, you don't need to spend all that money to get good players. You just need a manager who knows the system he's playing, the players he wants, and then you go out and buy those players. I think there's an emphasis in football now because of how Man City and Chelsea do things, that it's just the more money you spend, the better players you get. And it doesn't necessarily work like that. So with Arteta, it's I'm not really sure what kind of team and system he plays. I'm not sure he knows, but it was always going to be difficult because you're in a very similar places Man United. And the difference between Moyes at West Ham is that he didn't have a manager 5 seasons before him there who completely transformed that club. So Arteta is still following Wenger, who, regardless of what happened to Wenger in the last few seasons, but from where he took over to your heyday, he completely transformed Arsenal. You were finishing like 14th, 10th or whatever, and then you got, Invincibles, leagues, Champions League finals. And the same with Ferguson at United. And so it's always, you're on a kind of building thing from the Wenger era, and it was always going to get harder before it gets better. But there seems to be an emphasis now in football that spending all of this money, hundreds of millions, gets you better players, where Conte and we've proved that in 2 players anyway, you don't necessarily need to, less than 20 million Bentancur was. He's not, the best midfielder in the world by any margin, but he's definitely improved us and solided that midfield up. And then Kulusevski looks like he's been playing for us for years. And yeah, I just think you just need to, certainly in the summer, and Arteta anyway, find out what kind of decide what team I play, what kind of players I need, go out and get those players. If they are 100 million, because that's the only one, fine, spend 100 million. But if there's a good player who fits your system who's 10 million, go get the 10 million. You don't have to spend 100 million. And I just think that, I wouldn't be able to tell you really how Arsenal play, because I don't think they have an identity yet, which after 3 years, like you say, probably should have by now. We had an identity under Pochettino within 3 years. But then we've had Nuno, who could have been there for another 5 years, still wouldn't have had an identity. But I think there's an emphasis on football now and spending all this money. And when you're following someone who, Wenger was unbelievable manager, absolutely unbelievable. And following him was always going to be tough, even for the next few managers.
Yeah, I understand. I always knew it was going to be tough, for example. But I mean, if you look at if you look at Emery, and I will say this now, Emery was not backed. He was never backed in the way he should have been, the way this manager has been. At this manager, every decision he's had has been backed on. Emery never got that. If he had got that, who knows what we would have done? We could have been like Villarreal in that semi-final, right? For he managed to do that with I love this. We've got 3 Spurs fans and an Arsenal fan here. It's all right, I'll take you all on. It's like
Spurs fans, 3-1 to the Tottenham 3. What? Sorry.
Yeah, it's about the only time you could sing that.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the result the other way around in the Emirates? Was it?
Yeah. But I tell you what else could happen in this game as well, which we say the fans could be a turning point, which we were going great guns before you cancelled the game through one COVID case in the African nation. So I would be amazed if Conte doesn't remind those players of that and going, you should have won this game already. You should be ahead. And that is a kind of a motivational thing. Yeah. And because we were going absolute great guns there, and it kind of killed our momentum a little bit.
But then the thing is that we should have.
And also,
by the way, we should have played that game.
It should say to the players they didn't want to play us. They were scared to play us. It's the same team that they're playing now. They're scared of us. Let's go out and do them.
He put us in that situation with midfielders where we've got no midfielders whatsoever. Right, because he knew Partey was out in African Cup Nations, but he decided to get rid of Chambers and make their 9.
During that period, we didn't have Son. We didn't have Romero.
But but that's the thing. If we played you then, I don't think we probably would have won. So we tried to lead on this one COVID case that we had.
I think Conte will use that. I think, along with the crowd, I think we've got so many reasons to be up for this game.
You could flip it, and Arteta could say, "You beat that lot, you're in the Champions League."
Oh yeah.
That is enough. That's all. As much as it's Tottenham, and he said, right, these fans have come to Tottenham, right, to see you destroy them on their pitch, right? Simple as that, right? As much as it's that, and it's Northland Derby, you've got the incentive is that if you win that, that's it. You're in the Champions League. You can start celebrating now. Sit on the beach.
Yeah, I think we've just got so much motivation to play, and Conte's quite tactical. He's tactical, but not manipulative, in the same way that Ferguson was. Mind games, that's it. So I think he'll definitely mention in the conferences, the pre-match conferences, about the postponed game. He'll make sure to mention that to the he'll be mentioning it every press conference he does. He'll mention it to the players. He'll try to get into the players' heads that they were scared of you, they're still scared of you.
But this point I wanted to bring up about Conte as well. Right? And this is the difference between elite managers and what we've got. He's got to spend so much money to be able to improve the team. Great managers are managers that don't have to spend a lot, yet can still improve a team. Right? And look at Klopp, for example. Right? Then the 140 mil that he had spent on Alisson and Van Dijk, that only came out of transfer money. For Coutinho. That wasn't actually their money out of the club.
But that goes to what I was saying earlier. It's a manager with a plan. I know how I play. I know the players that I need. I know the type of players that I need. I want them to. There was no messing about by, like Manchester United have spent God knows how much money and got absolutely nowhere just because they buy all these players.
Mate, they're going to end up in the Conference League the way they're going. They could do, actually. If West Ham win their game in hand, they're in the Conference League. Oh, that would be funny.
But they just spend money. But they just spend money just because they can. They don't spend money for a plan.
They spend what they spend money
Liverpool
as a
and Klopp did.
No, Chris. What they spend money on is they spend money on players that will give them commercial value.
Yeah.
Right. Like they'll give them search sales, sponsorship deals. Right. They make the club tons of money of every player. Right. They don't actually buy players with an actual plan of actually improving the team. So and that's the problem. Unless they're going to change that with Ten Hag, that's why, as much as Ten Hag's coming in, which is great for them,
we've never got players to improve the team.
He would have been a waste. He will be. I think if they don't change the way they are, he will be a waste. Right, when he could have come to Arsenal, right, in replace of this man, right, with a young squad that we have, with his what he did with Ajax with the young squad, right? Didn't have to change much in the way we're playing as well. He would have slotted straight in without hardly a change, and we would have still carried on progressing, and actually progressed at a faster rate because we got an elite manager. So, like that's the thing with Arsenal. Arsenal are only spending so much money now, so they won't have to spend for the next 10 years by signing. I see that coming. This is also the thing I'm seeing is last time Arsenal.
I'll come in. I'll come in when you finish. Sorry.
So the last time Arsenal finished in Champions League position, what did we spend? We spent nothing. We didn't spend anything.
We got Petr Cech with it.
He was on a free. Mate, like we didn't, and that's my biggest worry. They'll just take the Champions League money, thinking that's all right. Top 4, there's our trophy. There you go. Their jobs are good, because I don't see the attitudes changed. I really don't see it. Right. So the board might have changed, but the attitude from the owners haven't changed. So, and if the owners haven't changed their attitude, neither will the board, because the board has to do exactly what the owners want them to. So
you could be talking about Levy and our board, Stephen. That's the funny thing.
Mate, they're 2 peas in a pod, aren't they? So there you go.
And Man United as well, like you said, they only do it for commercial stuff. You're a football team, and the only reason it worked with Ferguson is because he earned so much power there from what he did, that he was basically in control of that.
Yeah, but at least our owners are actually talking to us, to be honest. They communicate a lot more than
Levy doesn't do that with us.
Can I pick up on Chris's point? I think when you look at Man United and Arsenal, 2 sides, 20 years ago were absolutely ruling the roost. You had Wenger and he had David Dean. They had Ferguson and he had David Gill. And I think you look about a sort of a spine through a football team. You look at the spine through a football club in terms of its leadership from the boardroom down. And you look at Manchester United down, and they are rudderless from the top to the bottom. And that's why they're in the most almighty mess they are. And I suspect as well, Wenger was probably a little bit past his sell-by date as well. But the other person you didn't replace was David Dean, because he ran a really good ship at Arsenal. And you were
Well, we did. We just replayed him with that bald-headed twat called ggezif.
Well, well, when I say replaced, I mean, you know, I could replace Harry Kane in the team tomorrow, but it doesn't make me or on Thursday, but it doesn't make me a replacement. And I think that's a genuine point about where you have, you know, leadership throughout a business. Going back to the bit about spending, and it is so interesting because no doubt when you're just Arsenal fans on your own shows rather than having three reprobates like us on, it's you know, we talk when we're the same. We talk about, you know, Levy and the spending, and yeah, there was when we got to the Champions League final, we didn't spend any money after that, and that was, you know, when you look back at that, it was a massive wasted opportunity. But we have spent money, and this is one of my criticisms, or the criticisms, if you like, is that, you know, we went and blew, you know, 55, 60 million euros on Dembele, 40 odd million pounds on Lo Celso, you know, even going back to
how much did Davinson Sanchez cost? Did he cost a lot of money?
Sanchez? Well, Davinson Sanchez cost more than QT Romero, and that, you know, that Sanchez is a case in point. You know, 48 million pounds or whatever. He's not a bad player, but you know, surely that wasn't the best 48 million pounds you could spend in the world. And that is going back to the point, I think, the boys made, Chris in particular, about Conte. Is he buys really, really good, and with a director of football for the first time, a proper one that appears to have the authority to run the football side of the business. I mean, his title is managing director of football, so that's, you know, that in itself is a status that no one else has had, to go out, identify and buy the players that the manager wants. And I'll touch wood, you know, because this is a massive summer for us, whether we win, whether we get in the Champions League or not, to back Conte and get us properly challenging, because he's not a manager that hangs around fighting for fourth or fifth.
It's simple as this: if you don't spend in the summer, sorry to cut you off, but if you don't spend in the summer, he will be gone by the end of the next season.
It's not spending in the summer. It's what Conte wants, Conte gets. If Conte wants five players at all three,
that's what I mean.
We get 5 players at all three. If Conte he's not stupid. He ain't going to say to Levy, I want Haaland, I want Mbappe, because he knows there's no chance again. It's what Conte wants within reason.
But he won't get those sort of players. He won't get those sort of players. He'll get players that will just suit his system. And that's like Klopp.
But that's exactly what we need. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah, that's like Klopp. He managed to take Young from who was failing at Man United and put him in an Inter Milan side, and he got him playing as a right left wing back. So
I don't care how much. I don't care how much money we spend in the summer. It's what Conte wants.
I want to quickly, sorry, because it's got about 15 minutes left before we hit the hour mark.
I need to jump off, I'm afraid. I've got to,
no worries, mate.
I said I'd go to the gym and go spinning. So
where can trust me, just watch Arsenal for 5 minutes. That'll send you spinning in circles.
I've got Spurs to watch.
Where can I find you, Chris?
Cheers. So on Twitter handle there at @LTalkTottenham. On YouTube as well, Let's Talk Tottenham. Mondays, I'm on the Hotspur Hood. So Let's Talk Tottenham is on the Hotspur Hood. That's Tommy's show, who I think's been on here before as well. That's 7 p.m. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. on Mondays, the Hotspur Hood, and then 12:30 p.m. All UK time on Fridays is on my show, on my channel, Let's Talk Tottenham, and that's a preview generally of the weekend's games. But yeah, thanks so much for inviting me on, and make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe here, and then and all the other channels as well, and then let's hope we can win. Come on, you Spurs!
I'm just going to say, Chris always ends his shows with "Come on, you Spurs."
Don't swear on my channel, please. Honestly, I'm lucky I'm not getting a flag up on YouTube putting Tottenham Hotspur on my frigging banner. Like, there you go.
you did have me in Eugene's position where my photo had an Arsenal badge on it, which I wasn't happy about, so I had to say that in response. Cheers, Stephen. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Chris. Nice to have you on.
It
Like,
reminds me, I did a broadcast. I think it might have been one of Eugene's shows on a Sunday afternoon, and I had a red shirt on because it's my golf club colour shirt. And someone went, "Ian's wearing red."
You might want to lower the camera a bit,
Me?
Eugene, as well, if you can. No, Eugene, if you can.
Oh,
if you
Eugene,
can.
yeah. Sorry, it is, yeah.
It's there. You go. That's
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
That's better. Right. Sorry
So,
about that. But yeah. Anyway, I want to move on to the lineup and how do you think each team's going to play? So obviously I've got the combined 11 later on at 10:30, guys. So with Tommy, so make sure to go check that out later. That'll be both current and all time. So, but yeah, Ian, what is the lineup you would go with for this game?
Tottenham will play the same side as we played on
past three
Saturday
games.
at Liverpool, and probably the same team as we'll play, and we have been playing. So it will be a back 3-5. Lloris in goal, Emerson, Romero, Dyer, Davis, Sessegnon. Then the two holding midfield players, Bentancur and Hojbjerg, and obviously that dynamic front three of Son, Kulusevski, and Kane. But unless there's an injury, that will be the team. I think it's as predictable. Eugene, you go with that?
Yeah, I guess so. It's been the same. The first 11 for the past 3 games.
Well, Doherty's injured, Reguilon's injured.
We don't have a choice, Ian. We don't have a choice.
Skip's injured.
Are you going to put Winks there? No way, right? You're not going to play Winks in there.
Anyway, I'm going to ask. Obviously, you'll go to Sait, and how do you think Arsenal will land? Do you think it'll be the same as last week?
I think it will be a switch. So I think Ramsdale in goal. I think he'll put Tomiyasu as a right back to face Son. I think Ben White, if he's ready, he's gonna play him with Gabriel, and I think he'll probably play Cedric as the left back, and then he will play.
I'd actually drop Gabriel for White, not Golden. Sorry.
Yeah, but I think in such an important game, Gabriel and White has worked. They know each other.
He's been the better of the two.
Yeah, yes, but he's not. If you ask me what he's gonna do, and you ask me what I want to do, it's 2 different questions. So I think he's gonna play Gabriel and Ben White. That's what I think anyway. I think Cedric might play left back. We've seen him play there before, and I think in midfield we're gonna see Elneny and Xhaka. I think Elneny's role is gonna be to follow Kane, like Bissouma's done, Fabinho's done. I think that will be the game plan. I think Odegaard will float around in front of them. And I think it will be a front trio of Saka, Martinelli, and Eddie. But don't be surprised if Smith Rowe starts, because in most of our derbies, Smith Rowe had start and he's been excellent, whether it's Chelsea, West Ham, or Tottenham. Because
in place of whom? Smith Rowe in place of whom? Because I have to tell you, I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's a really great player.
Yeah, I love him. He's excellent. He's exciting. He's hungry, technically good, and now he scores goals. I would play him. For me, all the Haaland boys, I would start them in this game. They get it. You don't need to tell them anything. They'll turn up. We've seen it in the past. Yeah. And hopefully we will see it on Thursday.
Yeah. Who are you leaving out to bring Smith Rowe in? Odegaard?
It's a hard one because
you're not playing with 12. I'm telling you that now. You are not playing with 12.
Yeah, I know. The problem is this, that Odegaard and Smith Rowe are 2 very different players. So Odegaard, when he plays, he's the dictator. He dictates the game. He's very creative, very passing, wants to float around in the hole. He's not as attacking as Smith Rowe. But when Smith Rowe plays the 10, he's more direct. But I don't think Arteta likes him in the 10. So I think it will either be he will play Smith Rowe as a left winger and keep Odegaard, because I don't think he will drop Odegaard. He's his favorite player. Mm-hmm. Or he will drop Eddie and play Martinelli up top. Okay. But I think with Eddie's momentum, he's not gonna want to drop him now when he's just scored 2 goals
I was going to
against
say that. Yeah.
and 2 goals against Chelsea. And so I think it will be a question of either Martinelli or Smith Rowe comes on early from the bench. But I would start him 100%. I would start him.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, if I have faith in the manager, then I'd just go with what he would go with, but I don't. So there you go. So for me, Ramsdale in goal, Tommy on the right. I would actually, if you were going to put Ben White in there, I'd actually put Ben White and Holding in there, because Gabriel's just been poor. He's been making too many mistakes. And Ben White's just as shit. The left back is the left back's an issue, isn't it? Fuck. So you have to put Tavares there because we need Jack in the midfield.
Tavares can't defend for his life.
Yeah, but we can't put Saka at left back. We need Saka up there, so we can't put him there.
But guys,
actually, do you know what? No, hang on. Actually, I've worked it. No. Hang on. I do think actually, what I would like to see, I would put actually, you know what? Fuck it. I would put Saka left back, because I've seen him come forward before and get in these games, right, as a left back, and still perform out of his skin, right, and still performed out of his world, right. It's then if he gets forward, he still get the opportunity to cut inside if he wants to, right. So I'd play Saka at left wing back, right, as a left back. I'd play Xhaka and El Neni in the midfield. I'd then give me a chance to play
Odegaard 10, right. Martinelli right, Smith Rowe left, Eddie up top.
Yeah, Smith Rowe left. Yeah. That's like that.
Is it a good or a bad thing that you're both, and I don't know what other Arsenal supporters think in the chat, that you're both so indecisive about what the team should be, and what the team should be, and who should be left in, who should be left out. At this stage of the season, the team should be picking themselves.
I'd like to ask Stephen in things that do you think you guys would come out right? Well, Arteta have a plan to actually low block us. You get what I'm saying? We go to the tactics that most of the other teams did, that actually low block us.
He will think he'll try to do that. He will try and force you.
Or would you all come out and actually try to play us? Come at us.
No.
I think he will sit low. I think we've seen it before that he's not afraid of sitting low. And regarding your question, I think the issue with Arsenal is that we have one quality left back, but he's very injury prone. So, which is Kieran Tierney, and he's out. And Nuno Tavares has played there, but he's awful. He's awful. He's even worse than Emerson. And then Tomiyasu can play there, obviously, but Son is your best winger, and I'd rather have Tomiyasu play against Son. And then who do you put then on left back? It leaves me with 7.
Haven't you guys seen the last 3 games or so, right? Son has not actually been playing on the left side. He's been playing more like, Kane drops back and he runs to the center.
Yeah.
So,
but if you look at Tomiyasu, when he plays wing back, he drops in central. So he almost becomes like a back 3 when we play with Tomiyasu. But I think with the attack, why it's so hard to tell who's going to play is because Eddie's been good, Martinelli's been good, Smith Rowe's been good, Saka's been good, but you can't play all of them. So that's why it's harder for us. I think before it was always Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, and like I said, up top. But Martinelli turned up later on in the season.
It's easier for us is because we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We have to play that. In a certain sense, we don't have a replacement for Kane, and who's going to replace Son? You get what I'm saying? And talk about Kulu. If you take off Kulu, right, you bring on Mora or a Bergwijn, and they've not performed for us at any stage at all throughout the whole season. apart from the Leicester game in the last minute, 2 minutes.
And I think that's hindered you a bit, but because when Son was a bit out of form, you didn't have anyone to replace him.
Yeah.
No. It's a problem we've only had for the last 5-6 years or so.
Yeah.
It's criminal the way we've not dealt with that. I mean, I know it's difficult. It's difficult. People don't want to come in and be number two to Harry Kane, but
no, but there's always Ian. You cannot say that people don't want to come into Tottenham to be number two to Harry Kane. That is always. I feel that is just a myth or just BS all the way. You get what I'm saying? If you pay someone enough money, right? If you have a plan, right? Yeah. That guy will sit on the bench, and at least Harry Kane will get a break.
No, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I did actually said it's criminal that we haven't been able to get, because we got the guy, was it Vinicius from
the Brazilian,
but they wanted 40-odd million from me. Just we're good at spunking 40 million pound on ordinary players, so thank God we didn't.
No, we're not.
Vinicius is still developing as a player. He's not like absolutely proven like champ. He's obviously been on the Champions League level and got himself to Champions League final. But again, he's like, I saw him in the Man City game, and there were a number of chances.
No, it's not the same Vinicius.
Oh, it's not the same.
I'm talking about Vinicius, the guy we had last season from
the guy Tottenham had, who I think
my bad.
He scored a lot of goals against Marine and one or two. He actually
that guy,
His goal score. Oh, so that's my just my telephone. I'm gonna have to just knock off for a minute.
That's Conte asking for another player.
No,
but no. What we like, a lot of Spurs fans have been saying this, right? Nobody will come in to play second fiddle again. Nobody want to be his backup and all that. But I don't believe that. I think that kind of mentality comes from the club. You must bring in someone, right, to at least give Kane a chance to rest. Kane has been for the past 7 years being our number one guy, and he's now been there, in that position for so long that if you can't take him out. But the thing is that you've seen Kane being an out-and-out striker now. Now, since Mourinho came, he developed into a creative 10. He can play both positions.
He's done something that Wayne Rooney did, which is drop further deep.
You see
that with most strikers when they get older, they drop further.
Yeah, so that's what Kane is preparing for his long-term career. Most probably he'll play up until he's 33 or 34.
Well, it depends though.
The ankles with Kane that worries people, right?
He's again I think he'll now. To be honest, I think he's going to stay at Tottenham no matter what, because I think that chance with Man City had last season is gone. They've agreed the Haaland deal anyway, so.
I see Kane will stay if Conte stays. That's it. As simple as that, right?
Yeah, but even if Conte leaves, Man City is not gonna buy him, and the only team I can see him go to then is Man United.
Yeah, most probably. Yeah.
But
that
because I see
Man
United being that stupid. But I see Man United being that stupid. That's not what they need right now.
Oh, it depends on Ten Hag. If Ten Hag wants him, right? Let's say Conte stays for one more year, right? And Kane is there, and we don't win anything, and there's no improvement from what's been happening for Kane, right? And the opportunity comes, and Conte says, "Okay, I'm fed up. Spurs, Levy didn't give me what he promised," and he walks out. So Kane will say that, who is going to come in next? We've had Mourinho, we had Poch, Mourinho, right? And don't talk about Nuno, right? Nuno was a bad dream, right? A nightmare that happened, and we just want to forget about it. And the thing is that once you get Conte, who's the next player? Who's the next manager going to bring in at that level that will at least convince Kane that there is something to look forward to?
Not a lot, to be honest.
Yeah. No one better than Conte or similar level will come to Spurs, because if Conte leaves, that would tell every ambitious manager that Spurs are not ambitious. Don't come in.
Yeah.
I think it's on me.
I think in terms of if you look to the top four, the way people would say progressing their teams, Man United are at the very bottom, right? Because they even need to sort of plan out a way of getting back to where they belong. Right, so they're at the very bottom of it. You've got Tottenham. They're got their manager, and they think it looks like he knows what to do with it. So he's done that. But and then you've got
What I feel
Arsenal,
is that
who
if
have
Conte leaves, right? I think the next manager we should get is Big Sam. That's it. Drop back to that level and be like that way. You know what I'm saying? Instead of all the bullshit that we've been getting, you know? Who
I
else we
can
can
see.
get? Unless
I can see
you're
a way
going
I'm
to
possibly
Ryan
doing
Mason like what you guys did, right? Get Arteta in. Get
I
Ryan
can see
Mason.
Graham Potter join Spurs if Conte leaves.
No,
Oh,
but the thing
no, I
is
would be pissed off.
no. Potter is one intelligent manager, right? He is not going to jump into a fire where he knows that he can't get anything out of Levy. You get what I'm saying?
Mate, he's
Right.
not going to play second fiddle to Levy all the time. He's not going to do
Yeah.
that. He's not that stupid.
That's true. That's why now
Graham
this is the
Potter
battle.
will not leave the
battle
Brighton
between-
project.
The battle is now between actually Conte and Levy coming summer, because Conte has already set the bar of what he wants, right?
That's
how
why
he
it was
wants-
always difficult for Arsenal to try and get him, because like we have to convince him that there's actually something here to look forward to. So whereas Arteta, it was more like, yeah, just give me the job, please. I'll do anything. I'll do anything to get a job.
Our owners would never employ Conte. They don't want his controversial. They want a nice man.
But say they don't want any elite manager. Hang on, but hang on a minute. But you no elite manager is going to come to Arsenal, because the Arsenal board does not want to have the demands of an elite manager, which is demanding the right players, making like having control of his decisions, and call them out if they don't meet their target. So,
and that's why
like,
my energy is more towards the owner than Arteta, because at the end of the day, he doesn't employ himself.
What happened was
that's great, but like in the end, in terms of managing the team,
but for our drama was right when we sacked Mourinho, when we brought in Mason, right? It took us 70 over days to get Nuno in. You get what I'm saying? Our fans were already boiling. It was until the boiling point, right? When you brought Nuno in, we gave Nuno a chance. Honestly, all of us fans, we gave Nuno a chance, right? We supported him, we supported the team. But what did we get? No shots on goal for 5-6 games.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was worse than Mikel. It was shocking.
I thought Mikel Arteta was bad. He took it to another level.
But guys,
I never thought there was another level.
But during that MU loss at our Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, when the fans started to chant Levy out, that squeezed his balls, and he had to do something.
Yeah,
and he couldn't. He couldn't cite Nuno and bring in Big Sam, right?
Eugene, the problem is you would have had so much more from your club if you had demanded more, right?
Yeah.
And
No,
here's the thing:
our fan base
Arsenal and Arsenal and Tottenham have never been consistently demanding more from their club, right? The reason Liverpool got to where they are now is because they wouldn't accept anything less than fourth in their first season, right? They wouldn't accept fifth, they wouldn't accept sixth, they wouldn't accept seventh as progress. They would accept fourth only, right? And Klopp had to work his ass off to get it.
I think
Arsenal in his first season, they're like, oh, but he's 16th. He's in his first season. He's a novice. Give him a chance.
We have not won the league in 61 years.
And you're not going to.
Right. Yeah, going to be 62 years next year.
Sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate. But like,
that's why when Levy brought in,
I'm gonna have grandkids by the time you win the bloody league.
I'm supposed to be dead by the time we win the bloody league, right? But the thing is that during that MU game, when the chance came out, Levy panicked, right? And he turned around to Paratici and said, "What can I do?" So Paratici will turn around and says that the only person that you're going to bring in now, right, to appease the fans is Antonio Conte, right? Because we were linked to him earlier in the summer, you know.
Yeah, he turned you down.
He turned us down, and blah blah blah. Maybe they had a meeting and they didn't see eye to eye, right? Because Conte wanted full control of the football. That's what Conte always wants. When he's at the club, he wants full control of football. When Conte goes into the football club, he only wants one thing: the league. That is his first objective: is the league, correct?
Of course it is.
So when he comes in now, right? And if Levy doesn't give him what he wants, to at least try to go for the league. Because when he came in, he said that I'm not here to get top 4, right? I'm
Of
here to
course it's
win.
not. But this is the
Yeah.
thing. That's
Right.
what elite managers do. They demand the best, and
Yeah,
Arsenal didn't want
that's
that
right.
because they didn't
So,
want the liability if it all went
but,
wrong.
but
Right?
Stephen, at least your owners, right, chose Arteta, and you guys know that there are those who are Arteta in and those that are Arteta
No,
out, and those
they chose Arteta because A, it was a cheap option, and
Spurs
B,
fans.
Stephen,
no, but
let him finish. Let him finish.
go on.
Spurs fans, right? Levy had no choice. After the 70 days of not getting fast manager, we got Nuno, and then we got shit out of Nuno, right? He had no choice. His back is against the wall now. You know, he's painted himself against the corner, right? If he doesn't put up now, right? People like Ian is not a Levy outer. Ian is always been saying he believes he's an Enoch outer because he says that if we get rid of Levy, right, who's going to come in? You guys know. But now the
Hang
thing
on.
is that, sorry,
I have to disagree, but the problem is that like you would have got so much more out of Daniel Levy if the protests, for example, had been more consistent. The same as Arsenal would have got a lot
Don't talk
more
about
if the protests had been more consistent.
Spurs fans
Right?
don't
But-
understand the word protest.
No, that's the point. Because you lot have not been able to do that, like Daniel Levy will still be able to do what he wants in the long term, right? Because like unless you put pressure on a board, the board won't do as it's told unless you put pressure on it. Unless all like you
But
already
now,
have it.
but now, Stephen, if Conte walks right in the summer and it's found out that Levy didn't back him, imagine all those sitting on the fence, right?
Oh, I still think
I
you
can
won't. I still
see-
think you won't consistently protest though for it.
I can see
I-
Tottenham get Pochettino back if Conte leaves, just to please
Yeah.
the fans.
Yeah,
can
that's
see
what it'll
them
do.
doing
That's
that.
what it'd do.
I think that a
It'd
lot
bring
of us
back
fans
Poch. It'd be a big reunion. Like, oh, we got the guy who got us back up. You know what I mean? It'd be like it'd be a
brings
full
back
PR
Poch, right?
stunt.
Yeah.
And the rest of the fans go that way. Then I'm just gonna not do
I've got to
YouTube
ask. I've got to ask Alex because I did put the link in the chat. So anyone who wanted to come on and ask a question to the panel, they can. Alex, I'm gonna. So I want to wrap this up in about 5 minutes anyway. Because we've got to start doing dinner anyway. So Alex, welcome to obviously to the panel. What did you want to ask?
If Tottenham beat Arsenal, what is your opinion about the rest of the season? If you get top 4 or not? Because you've got Newcastle and Everton next. So I'm just wondering about Arsenal fans'
Who have you
opinion.
You got Burnley and
We got Burnley and Norwich away last game of the season.
yeah.
I think Everton will be safe by the last day. I think, to be honest, the way their form is for me, and with the games in hand they've got, so that might probably be the game where we can win, as they'll probably just be happy with the fact they've got safe. Newcastle away would be tricky because they're out to prove a point. Even if Tottenham win, I still feel Arsenal could I still feel Arsenal should be able to do it. There shouldn't be any excuses now that Arteta should not be able to. Arteta has got no excuses for not getting top 4 now. If he does not get top 4 now, right, it's on him. Simple
Is that
as
not brutally harsh, considering you've got to go to Tottenham and got to go to Newcastle?
No, because even if you lost to Tottenham, and as much as you go to Newcastle, right, you have to win those games. If you want to be in the Champions League next season, competing at the top level, you should be going to teams like Newcastle and grinding out a win. You should be, right? And if he can't do it, then he has no right to be in the top level of football.
Yeah, for me,
test
I think honestly, even if we lose to Tottenham, I think we'll still get top 4, because I'm not even sure if Tottenham will win the remaining 2 games. I think you will smash Norwich, but we've seen before, teams like Burnley, you struggle with them because Burnley's gonna play low block. They're fighting for their life. They don't want to get relegated. It's not an easy win. So I think
Burnley at home has never had a good record.
Interesting. Since Dyche left, they haven't been playing that way. And in fact, they attacked Aston Villa and got picked off by Aston Villa. Granted, that was a home game. I don't know if you saw that game. But they got absolutely picked off by Aston Villa, and they got picked off really easily. They may play low block, but I would rather be playing Burnley now than under Sam Dyche, because under Sam Dyche, that's exactly the kind of game. And Chris alluded to this earlier, Eugene, about the kind of teams that have given us problems, which is why I think we'd love it if you attacked us. Yeah.
If Burnley in a relegation fight, right, they would have to come out to win. They're not going to sit back and get 1 point. No. 1 point won't do them any good.
And we'll pick them off.
And we will pick them off.
Yeah, but I think Arsenal beat Newcastle.
I want to quickly. So I've got to wrap this up soon because I've got to get dinner sorted. So I'm going to quickly go around the room and quickly ask. And I know there's still loads of comments coming in. Thank you to everyone that's been putting in on. Go to Bilbao. Everton will turn up and accept game. Plus the face. Yep, definitely. Strong diets. Look, I'm going to go around. Score predictions. Ian, what are you going for?
2-1 Tottenham.
Okay. Sait.
I think 1-0 Arsenal.
Yeah. Stephen, you didn't read my comment. Yes, in response to. Oh yeah. My bad. But if they play over,
Static is just jealous because he's not on the panel.
Alex, what are you going for?
Just like all the other streams I've been on, 17-0 Spurs.
It's 17-0 everybody.
17-0.
I really like
Maurice Sabona.
Yeah. I really like this game's
mate. If that happens, I will personally come off this channel for a month.
If that happens, I won't support Arsenal until the owners are out. If we lose 17-0, then that's it for me.
No. Arteta would have to go that night. I'm sorry.
It's not enough with Arteta. 17-0, the whole owners, everybody has to walk. Honestly.
Yeah. Everyone, like the whole club, like
everyone. Steven, everybody has to walk. Steven's channel, everything.
Eugene,
guys, my biggest theory, right, is that we put a lot into the game against Liverpool on Saturday, right? And it was a late game, and usually when we do that, right, we tend to become, our energy level drops in the midweek game, and my big fear is that we might end up in a draw. But of course, being a Spurs fan, I can't hope for that. And I'll say we'll beat you guys.
Oh, 2-0. Come on, Games FC. Sorry.
2-0.
Come on. Yeah. Come on, Games FC. This is Tottenham. You can't predict Tottenham to. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. No. I said 3-1. I said 3-1 in the home game. I'm going 3-1 in the away game. It's like I called it when I was in hospital, and I got it spot on, right? Spot on, right? I think even the goals were. I think the first goal was probably spot on, as I said as well. Right, so there we are, 3-1. Going for it again.
Yeah. I can see an early Arsenal goal, and then we just sit back and shit house and low block and just frustrate.
We did the last time we won at White Hart Lane with Rosicki with a thunderbolt in the 90 seconds, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
They parked the bus for the rest of the fucking game.
What a player!
What a strike that was. Bro, have you seen how they played against Liverpool? Conte.
Yeah, but
before?
Tottenham are good against the better teams.
Yeah, but
I mean,
they've always
even
been
against Man City, did you do the double on them or something like that?
Yeah,
We have
Nuno.
games.
not
Let's
lost
see,
against the top two teams.
I need
this
this. Look, I need to put this in perspective. It goes up. Form goes out the window. This is North London derby. You can't. I can't do it. Like even if we were bottom of the league, I'd still predict an Arsenal win. I couldn't do it. No, just can't do it. No, you'll never catch me on camera and predicting a Tottenham win over Arsenal. Never, or a Tottenham win for any team. Like, they could be
Steven
playing
admitting
Marine, I'd
his
still
Arteta
fucking back Marine. They could be playing my under nines at frigging down the local park, and I'd still bloody pick them.
Steven, look at my name.
Your friends in the chat don't appear to be too optimistic.
Arsenal lose.
Guys,
No, static. Come on.
Static is the most Arteta out fan you'll find on YouTube. He hates Arteta. He can't stand. I reckon if he saw Arteta live, he would smash him. Honestly, he hates him that much. He hates him so much.
No. I've got to give. No, hang on. I've got to defend Static here. I've got to defend Static here. Like, sentiment is probably the worst. Like, you see these comments yesterday. Fucking hell.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, he's.
But now we'll win, Static, and we win, and I'll tell you on Thursday. I told you so.
Look, just be biased for once. Be biased. Don't be realistic. I'm usually realistic, but for this game, I'm biased. I don't give a fuck.
Stephen, if you can't be biased,
who will get Champions League? Who do you think?
Do you know what? Fuck it. We're beating you 6-0. Fuck it. Like, let's do it. Let's go.
It'd be hilarious if Chelsea falls out of Champions League spot.
Mate, if that happened, I'd be trolling them for weeks.
That'll be fun.
But then, to be honest, if Man United finish below, if West Ham win, they'll win their game in hand.
Yeah.
They'll finish above Man United.
West Ham wins their next game, right? they already jumped MU. You know, MU's got a
no. If they win their game in hand, they will jump Man U on goal difference, and they'll put them in the Conference League. They go from title challenges to the Conference League.
Don't worry, they got Champions League around.
They've got you Conference League around. There you go, Ralph Ragnick. They know exactly what he needs. Below at the back, Ronaldo at attack. We're off to Conference League.
Imagine Ronaldo in Conference League.
No. Azerbaijan. He's going on to Azerbaijan doing stew.
I've got my song ready for the end of the season, by the way.
Yes.
Oh God!
4 points and you fucked it up. 4 points.
Yeah, no. There, allow it. Big up, Steve. Don't get diddy about 4 goes out the window. See some tackle. Yeah, man. Passion, desire. Truth. Go through these last comments. Truth. If I ever met, I'll tell him to avoid violence. I can't be biased, boys. This is the best policy. We could win a game and score against 10-man team. You could beat Tottenham because it's Tottenham.
That makes no sense. Let's not talk like Arsenal hasn't been good this season. Like we've been all right. I think we got a good chance. It's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Tottenham can win. Arsenal can win.
You guys have been actually grinding out the results. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, it sounds like we've been at the bottom of the league or something.
But you're not going to beat us in Hotspur Stadium. That's for very sure. You're not going to beat us, right?
No, you call it Tottenham Hotspur. Mate, you've basically moved the centre circle towards one of your goals and then named it a new stadium. Right? It's still White Hart Lane. Like, let's get it right. Come on.
It's still White Hart Lane, yeah.
One of your goals is still on the goddamn pitch. Like,
we still don't have naming rights yet. So
we may as well call it White Hart Lane.
And then you build it for £1 billion. It looks like a freaking bedpan from the aerial shots, right? And then when you sit in a seat, you've got a bar in the freaking middle, and you pay fucking 80 quid for that bar. Like, the only news of having a bar in the middle of your seat is so a pole dancer can fucking go down it. That's about it. So, I had to get that off.
Good question. I think that came up earlier. I mean, I think the
take bets
talking about Zaka, but as someone rightly said, when in a game like this, the referees are likely to try and keep 22 on the park if they can. So unless you do something really stupid and punch somebody,
I've got to end it there.
Okay.
So Ian, it was great to have you on.
Pleasure.
Where can they find you?
Well, usually on Eugene's show and one or two others. I don't have my own show, so anyone can follow me at Shaggy1712. I'll always follow back. You're one today. And just some of the Spurs shows that I do. Just very quickly, just some other football news that's broken. Rudiger's just come up. Rudiger has just announced he's signing for Real Madrid. And Haaland has announced, City have announced that Haaland is no secret. He's going there for next season. So some clubs are getting their business done early, which is what we don't do. But thanks for having me on. It's nice to have this kind of inter-club rivalry that's not stupid. Someone, one of the Scottish rugby players, put hates for terrorists. It's not for football fans, or he said for rugby players. But so it's good being on, and let's hope for a good game at least on Thursday night. Whoever wins, as long as it's us.
Go ahead.
I see some of you really don't like Arteta, do you?
I've told you this channel is people don't like Arteta on this channel at all. I think I'm probably the one who's less likable of him.
Mate, I've given him credit where it's due. Come on.
Not enough.
Compared to some people I know.
Listen, the only reason why Stephen likes Arteta is because they write each other love letters. That's the only reason.
Pen pals, right?
And his name himself, Stephen Arteta. But but I think honestly, if Arsenal get top 4, I can't say anything negative towards Arteta. If he secure top 4 with this young squad, with the injuries we've had, he's done well.
Okay.
I love like that.
Sait, where can I find you?
Yeah, you can find me here on Stephen Arteta SFeatleyTV.
Carry on.
You can see Stephen's lovely content about how much he loves and appreciates Arteta ball.
You can find him here, or you can find him on Instagram. There you go, done. YouTube, where can I find you?
You're gonna find me on YouTube on Spurs Version TV, but lately I have not been doing a lot of shows because of work, right? Maybe I'll try to do one maybe tomorrow, or maybe I'll wait until the NLD is over and do one on Friday. Let's see what happens then. Okay. And thanks for having me on, Stephen. Right? Don't forget, guys, smash a like on Stephen's channel. Right? It helps out on his charity. Right, for cancer,
Children's Liver Disease Foundation.
Children's Liver Disease Foundation, guys. Right, give him a big support. Even though he's an Arsenal fan, he's been a very good supporter of my channel too. Right, and we have a lot of good banter. And you must come on one of these days to watch Stephen take on 9 Spurs fans at one go.
Mate, I'll win every time. There you go. Yeah, Alex, where can I find you as well?
I don't have a channel, but I usually go on other people's channels like this, and I usually say steak a lot of times.
Not bad.
Is that another Stephen loves Arteta shout?
Anyway, like, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow all these people as well. Do check out also the F1 channel as well. That'll be back with a show on Wednesday.
When is the next race, Steven?
That's not next week. Next week, the week after. Spanish Grand Prix. Yeah. Make sure you check that out, and also make sure you check out at 8 o'clock. We've got Arsenal gossip column, so just general Arsenal chat with Gooners, and then 10:30 I'm with Tommy to do a combined 11, both current and all time. We're not trying to make that show too long because obviously it's late at night and I don't want to be staying up.
Yeah, it's only going to be Arsenal players.
I've got to be doing loads of banners and stuff for the actual watch along itself, so I've got loads of work to do after that. So make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
As always,
Bye-bye.
BBL.